Hello everyone, I am here today to explain about cephalosporins to remember easily, to memorize them. You know there are 5 generations of cephalosporins. I made a few simple mnemonics and I copied from internet and everything. And I made this topic easy. First we will remember what are the names of drugs of a particular generation. Now first go to first generation drugs. I'll remember every time I remember first generation drugs as even from my UG days, I remember them as Zolero. Like Bolero is there, no? Like that, Zolero. So cefazolin, cefalexin, cefadroxil. Zolero, cefazolin, cefalexin, cefadroxil. Next, we'll go to second generation. To remember second generation, fox fur for professional tan. That's an age-old mnemonic. You can find it in internet all the time, but you don't stress that much on second generation cephalosporins because they're not in use nowadays. We have to remember more for third generation cephalosporins. I made a good mnemonic for third gen. For second generation cephalosporins, fox fur for professional tan, cefoxitin, cefuroxime, cefaclor, cefprozil, cefotitan, cefoxitin, cefuroxime, cefaclor, cefprozil, cefotitan. Just remember these names, that's it. Now here comes the third gen cephalosporins. This is the best mnemonic I found on the internet till now, and I just improvised it for our neat PG sake. To remember third gen cephalosporins, you can't find a better mnemonic than this. That is Dr. Azid. He's a doctor. He took a taxi. Why he took a taxi? He's a veterinary doctor. He's going to operate on ox with a triax. He will operate with an axe, right? He's a very crude doctor, right? Dr. Azid took a taxi to operate on an ox with a triax. Cef dinner, cef doctor, cef dinner, Azid, ceftazidime, taxi, cefotaxime, operation, like that, cefoporazone, ox, cefopodoxime, triax, ceftriaxone, cefdinir, ceftazidim, cefotaxime, cefoperazone, cefpodoxime, ceftriaxone. Now fourth generation cephalosporins. You remember for fourth generation cephalosporins like pi, cefepime, cefepirome, cefclidin. You write 4, mirror image of 4 is like P. So you remember it as pi. Cefepime, cefepirome, cefclidin. These 3 are fourth generation. These are very important. You should remember them. Fifth generation, you know ROFL, rolling on floor laughing, right? Roll, floor, like that. Roll is present in every drug of 5th gen, and F is for 5th gen. So ceftarolin, ceftabiprole is what you should remember. Roll will be present in the drugs, that is 5th gen cephalosporins. Now you memorize all the drugs by repeating the video. After memorizing the drugs, what are the MCQs related to this cephalosporins, I'll discuss. Number 1, cefazolin. Zo, you remember that is Zolero is first gen, right? Zo is for nowadays it is used only for surgical prophylaxis. That's it. You just remember that drug, cefazolin, and surgical prophylaxis. You know cefuroxime, fox fur for professional tan, it's a second gen, right? What fur? Why we use fur? Fur is used to coats and caps. Here you remember fur cap. Cap is for head, right? So cefuroxime is only drug in the first 2 generations which goes to head, like good CSF concentration. So this is the reason cefuroxime is the only drug which is used for meningitis in the first 2 generations. That's it, just remember that. Now here comes Pseudomonas. For Pseudomonas, remember acid went for operation, right? Acid and operation. For Pseudomonas, you will use ceftazidime and cefoperazone. And 4th gen also we can use for Pseudomonas. So acid went for operation. This 2 you remember for Pseudomonas. Ceftazidime and cefoperazone along with 4th gen. Now here comes the biliary excretion, right? All are renal, but axe is used for operation, right? It must be cleaned. So for cleaning, you remember like this, it must be clean with bile, right? So remember, triax and operation is for biliary excretion. You don't clean with urine, right? You will clean with bile. Just for fun, remember like this. Triax and operation is for biliary excretion. So ceftriaxone and cefoperazone are the only drugs with biliary excretion. Remaining all are renal excretion. Now here comes the most important part in cephalosporins, that is drug of choices where you can use a 3rd gen cephalosporins as drug of choices. In which bacteria you can use 3rd gen cephalosporins as drug of choices, right? For that, remember 3rd gen. T for typhoid. For admitted typhoid, we'll use cephalosporins. HI in the 3rd, HI means Haemophilus influenza, you use 3rd gen cephalosporins. RD, right? In 3rd, RD, you remember it as RO. And Proteus, remember you include Proteus in the RD. You remember like that. So for the remembrance sake, 3rd means typhoid, Haemophilus influenza, Proteus. And then gen, G for gonorrhea, E for E. coli, and for Neisseria meningitidis. For meningitidis, you have to use 3rd gen cephalosporins for meningitis, right? For CSF penetration, you must use 3rd gen cephalosporins. These are the drug of choices. Which bacteria we can use 3rd gen cephalosporins, right? These are the first line. These are the drug of choices for these bacteria. Just don't forget this. Last but not least, you have to remember disulfiram, where disulfiram like reaction occurs in 3rd gen cephalosporins. The answer is operation, like cefoperazone. So you remember cefoperazone is a biliary excretion, right? It causes disulfiram like reaction and it is used in Pseudomonas, right? Operation is, you remember, like cefoperazone. Disulfiram like reaction, cefoperazone. That's it. Next, ceftazidime. Ceftazidime has a peculiar side effects. You have to remember somehow like that, like neutropenia and thrombocytopenia are the side effects for the ceftazidime. So you remember what are the main MCQs regarding it. I'll revise everything. Cefazolin, surgical prophylaxis. Cefuroxime, fur cap, good CSF penetration. Pseudomonas, acid and operation along with 4th gen. Biliary excretion, triax and operation. It must be cleaned with bile. Triaxone, operazone. Then drug of choices, you remember by just a simple mnemonic, 3rd gen. Typhoid, Haemophilus influenza, Proteus, gonorrhea, E. coli, Neisseria. Meningitidis, you must remember like meningitis. Okay, and then now comes the disulfiram like reaction. Cefoperazone, definitely. You have to remember 3 features of cefoperazone. Next, ceftazidime. It causes neutropenia and thrombocytopenia. Keep following our content. Please like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy cephalosporins. It's easy to remember. Just go through these mnemonics. You can crack any MCQ. Thank you. Happy learning.